I volunteered for the Shaolin monks demonstration, and when I threw my punch, he shot underneath me and scooped with a hard whipping double leg, and my head hit the deck. Boom, and I am kooky. Oh, I would later find out he's known as the Iron Leg of China, and now the competition's about to start.
Welcome back to Mulligan Brothers. Today's video, as always, was sponsored by Huel. I'm drinking Huel Black Edition, which has 26 vitamins and minerals, 35 grams of protein and slow release carbs to make sure that I can stay satiated and proteined up whilst I make these documentaries. If you want to find out more about these, go to the link in the description. I'll talk about them a little bit later on in the video. You said earlier about, did you call him your master?
Yeah, my Kung Fu master, Chun Man Sit, the legend.
And you had this mentality immediately, which I think is so important if you're in sports, especially combat sports, but in sports is to submit to that and to be like, they are the master, and you know, you accept and you do everything they tell you to do to the best of your ability, and more.
That's right.
And speak to that mentality. I love it.
There may be different shades of the truth to this, but my first Kung Fu teacher, I believe, well, I know he had connections to organized crime, and I know he was indoctrinated by his teacher, who was of Far East descent, as a hired killer, because my first Kung Fu teacher, he was an orphan too, and he was really easily indoctrinated. So the Kung Fu he taught us was magnificent, but it was all so damn violent. It was so damn violent. Always cross-stepping into the knee and raking to the cheek and eye, and really hardcore, you know, tiger and eagle boxing. Except he really, I remember one time he said something, by the way, I love this man. He's getting older now, and I'm back together with him too, because he never had any children. And it never set right with me, maybe because I was physically and sexually abused when I was little. He said that when he tears somebody's face, it feels like his fingers are penises. And remember that my brothers and I, we were still living on the streets because that's where I could afford to have an apartment. We worked as dishwashers and as busboys, and they came with me every day to the YMCA to do physical training and to do Kung Fu and lift weights. Never on the streets for any other reason, but we had to live there, right? There was a lot of gang violence. Crack was all over the place. This is in 90, 91, 92, 93. And something, it broke my heart after a while going to class, and I became the top student, but I just didn't possess that violence in me, or coldness. I didn't possess that. And then I heard of Chun Man Sit, the short order cook from a grocery store that teaches in the park on Sundays. Now, doing Shaolin and doing this Hongar Kung Fu, we trained in a secret warehouse like this that I also lived in and also protected. And I remember some mob guys coming through, and he'd have us come out and do some demonstrations. And it was like a little clan or cult, you know? But you know what? No drugs, no alcohol, nothing but training. Still, I knew there was something more. And I went to Chun Man Sit's class, and his Kung Fu was very soft, and he didn't look like a badass. And then I did not challenge him, but we were doing some free sparring a little bit. And I don't remember what was said, but basically, well, you can try harder, he said to me. So I tried harder, and I was slapped so hard, my freaking bell was rung. I'm on the ground. I get back up immediately on instinct to go again, and he slaps me 2 more times as opposed to punching, but so fast and powerful. Wham! And right there, I already know who, who the big boss in this town is right there. Right then, I didn't even have to say anything. I just knew I'm going to be there, and I'm going to learn from this man, and I'm going to do whatever he says. And that's what we did. And it took 2 years for me to be an indoor student where I'd start training at his house. I had to do all my drills and train. We do a 5-hour class on Sundays, and I train every day for 2 or 3 hours out in the field. In the rain, in the snow, because, this is Kansas City, in the heat, while I'm doing construction and demolition, while I'm doing some bouncer work, while I'm doing whatever. My focus was martial arts, And I did whatever he told me, double. And after some time, he said, Rudy, you possess what is most important in a great student. And I thought, what? Physical ability? No, no, no. I said, discipline. He goes, no, no, no. I said, Sifu, then what is it? And he says, obedient. Not even obedience. Remember, his English was a little broken back then, but obedient. And then I went on my first Kung Fu competition with him here to Dallas, Texas at the Jingwu Martial Art Academy. Massive Chinese and international competition. Lion dance, forms, fencing, weapons, and then of course Kumite kickboxing and wrestling.
Today's episode, as always, was powered by Huel. This stuff has been absolutely crucial to my training and the world record I just broke, the world's heaviest marathon, where I carried 220 pounds for 28 miles. Yes, I achieved it, guys. It is done. This is what I was drinking. Huel Black Edition. It has 35 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals and slow release carbs. And it's what I use in my training all the time. But don't just take my word for it. People like the hardest geezer ran across Africa drinking this stuff. It's absolutely amazing. And if you want to get exclusive offers and deals, go to the link in the description and you can find out more about their other products like their daily greens and their meals, which I eat every single lunchtime. Thank you to Huel for sponsoring the video, and let's dive back into the episode.
Because I had such a great attitude, I volunteered for the Shaolin monks demonstration for Sanshao and Shuijiao. There was no mats on the floor at the time, the massive convention center. And when I threw my punch, he shot underneath me and scooped with a hard whipping double leg. My head hit the deck. Boom, and I am kooky. I'm concussed bigger than shit. I jumped to my feet to protect myself, and then he asked me to kick, and I kick hard, and he freaking double blocks my freaking knee and my quadricep. Feel my quadricep. And this guy, I would later find out he's known as the Iron Leg of China. This little monk. He beat the shit out of me for about 3 minutes. And then finally my teacher jumped in. Okay, that's it, And I don't know what I'm going to do. And now the competition's about to start. I do 2-person set. I do empty hand technique. I do sword technique. I do staff technique. I do wrestling. I do push hands, and then I do free sparring. And I'm out of it. And I took gold in every single thing, I think, but the push hands. And I was the grand champion of no school of the short order cook, Chunman sit. I'm beat the hell up. And I beat the best rush. Oh, and there's no weight classes. I'm a middleweight. There's no weight class. So I'm fighting all the big karate dudes. So this is how it works. The karate and the full contact guys, they know they're just going to clean house. We just go to the Kung Fu competition. There's no real weight classes, and these guys can't really fight. So I'm fighting fresh, experienced karate fighters, Kyoshkin fighting karate fighters, hard, tough dudes. I had a couple Russians too. Bro, I whooped that ass. That side kick, and I was just so much more conditioned, and I was just so much faster, and I never got angry, and so I never got afraid. I was never angry. I just saw the gaps and I just went to the gaps, and I could wrestle. Afterwards, I'm in La La Land. All the Kung Fu teachers, why we really do big competitions is to do the workshops afterwards. So I can learn some Bagua, I can learn Bagua Xingyi. I can do some freaking Fujian White Crane. I can have a person that's coming in from, for Shuijiao, which is fast wrestling. And these are all monks and masters from China. And, all the masters are smoking some herb, and they're all doing push hands and doing techniques and sparring in the parking lot. These are all dudes that are my age and older now, 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm just this young, fresh-faced guy. And Sit says to me, the genius that he is, he says, Rudy, no one know my name here, but everyone say, that's Rudy's teacher. So now he's famous. So he's printed all kinds of cool stuff in the martial art journals. He's been in the Kung Fu magazines. He was just so, they'll plum. He said, no one here know my name, Rudy. But they say, that's Rudy's teacher. And that was the biggest love. He was saying, kid, you made me proud. You put me on the map. I'm a nobody, but maybe I am somebody. Like you believed in me, I believed in you. How special is that, man?
I told you guys that I was doing the world's heaviest marathon, and I achieved it. It was 28 miles with 100 kilos on my back, 220 pounds. Then over the next 10 days, I ran an average of 40 miles per day with a 55-pound stone on my back. We achieved it. And so many people told me that that was impossible and that I wouldn't be able to do it. And that's why a lot of you guys have been donating to the cause, because we achieved impossible. But somebody who supported me from the very get-go was Chad Robichaux. And with that, him and a company that he worked with, Vortex, who do Vortex Optics, who a lot of you guys probably know about, also have supported me on this cause. Vortex Optics have donated a Reyes HD Gen 3 and a Impact 4000 ballistic rail-mounted laser rangefinder, which is like $8,000 or something together. If you donate $7, I believe it is, at mulliganbrothers.com, which I'll link down below, you get an entry into the raffle to win those. And the money that you donate goes to the charity. So if that sounds like something that you want to do for our US audience, the link is down below. We're also giving away a Brass Monkey ice bath for our UK audience. It's a £5 donation. And again, it's at mulliganbrothers.com. All this money that we raise is going to help provide headstones for bereaved parents. And I cannot thank you guys enough. The mission is complete with taking the stone back, the 480 miles on my back. But the fundraising mission is still not complete. And I'm urging you guys to help us achieve this. I really, really want to be able to provide going forward indefinitely for parents who need headstones for their babies. Thank you to Vortex Optics and Chad for making this possible. Links down below.
I think it's equidistant. The further you go into darkness, the more expansive is your light. It's bigger than what people can explain, this real world. I believe I've been in the real world.